Hey, so I got targeted with a $700 bonus if I open a checking account with PNC. So I did the math, and for me, the $700 is actually worth $430. But that might be completely different for y'all. But I want to explain how I got to that number and how it could be worth more or less for you guys. So just to go over the offer is if I open up a PNC premium checking account, and if I do a $5,000 direct deposit into the account within the first 60 days, I get the $700 after 60 to 90 days. So basically, if I put in $5,000 within the first 2 months, within 2 to 3 months, they'll give me the $700. So it's a very straightforward offer. There's not lots of hoops you have to jump through, but that $700, you do have to do some math on it to see how much money you'll actually be getting. Here's where $700 starts being worth a little bit less. The first is what the great Benjamin Franklin told us we can't escape, which is taxes. So the bank does report this to the IRS and you will get a 1099. So you'll be taxed on it. So a lot of people fall into the 22% tax bracket, which is if you're filing single, if you make between $50,000 to $105,000. If you're filing jointly, the top of that range is higher. So, but a lot of people will fall into this range. At this range, which is what I fall into, so 22% of 700 is $154. So that means $700 minus the taxes is $546. So that's the first thing that will reduce the value of this bonus. You also have to consider if your state has an income tax. I live in Texas, so I won't have to pay any income taxes on this. But if you live in a different state, you might also have to pay income taxes, which might lower the amount. Or you might be in a lower or higher tax bracket, so that'll change how much money you get to keep. So the second thing with this account is that it does have a $25 monthly fee on this account, which is a little bit higher than other accounts. But there are two ways to avoid the fee. The first is if you direct deposit $5,000 into this account every month, you don't have to pay the $25 monthly fee. The second way is if you park $5,000 in the account and it has a $5,000 minimum balance every month, then you don't have to pay the $25 annual fee. The first method I think is better because you don't have to put $5,000 in an account that gives you 0% back. But for me personally, I have 3 other checking accounts that offer me unique perks or relationships with certain banks. So I don't want to cancel those accounts because I do have to have a certain amount of direct deposit in those accounts so that I don't get charged a monthly fee. What is really nice in my situation is that my employer lets me break my paycheck up into 3 accounts so I can fund all 3 accounts and avoid the fees of those accounts. But I don't want to completely change my direct deposit just into the PNC account and then have to close one of them or 2 of them down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change one of my accounts and then have that money go into the PNC account so I can get the $5,000 within the first 2 months, and then I'm going to change it back. And then I'm going to deposit $5,000 from my high yield savings account into PNC for about 8 months. And right now, the high yield savings account that I'm using is a Robinhood savings account, which is giving me 3.5% of my money. That's where the opportunity cost comes in for me because I could be at the 3.5% range. I could be making $14.58 every month on those $5,000. And instead, I would be making $0 on that money. So $14.58 times 8 months, which is how long I plan on having the PNC account open for, is about $117. So the 700 turns into $546 for me after I apply the 22% tax. And if I subtract about $117, that's about $430. So that's how my $700 turns into the $430. Now, that could be completely different for you. First, you could just deposit the $5,000 every month and avoid the fee and keep your savings in a high yield savings account and not have to give up that opportunity cost. Second, you do not have to have the account open for 8 months. You have the first 60 days, so about 2 months, to deposit the $5,000, and then within the next 60 to 90 days, you should get the bonus, and then you can close the account. There is nothing in the offer that said that you have to have the account open for a certain amount of period or anything like that. So technically, you probably could close the account after about 5 to 6 months. But I want to be safe and I don't want to deal with any kind of clawback situation. So I'm going to keep my account for 8 months. So that could change how you do your math. So at the end of the day, this 700 ended up being $430 in my personal situation. Your situation is completely different, and you have to do the math and think about your pros and cons and do the math for yourself to see how much this bonus would be worth it for you. But let me know in the comments down below if you think I made any bad assumptions or I could have done things differently, and if you think it's still worth getting this bonus for me. If you guys learned anything or enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you.